Hey there. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here with the episode of What's New. This comes out every Saturday, in which I choose an album that came out in the year that we're in, which is 2025. And the album we're going to be doing today is actually a live album. David Gilmour. There it is. This is The Luck and the Strange Concerts. So I'm going to give you the information on it because there's a lot. There's quite a bit of information here. I'll try to give you as much of it as I can, and I will use this book primarily for it because it's pretty good. It's a pretty good source of information. Sometimes they don't always give you all the details, but in this case, that is not the case. So, of course, this is a 2 CD collection of live stuff. This album was released on, I believe, October the 17th. I did have it written somewhere, but I don't have it with me, but I think it's October the 17th of this year. I'm not sure exactly the length of the album, but it is a double CD, so it's fairly lengthy. I think if I remember correctly, just let me check here. No, it does not give it. It didn't give it anywhere. That's what it was. Personnel list, we'll put that up. Anyways, we'll give you a little breakdown of it. So, this was recorded live in 2024, so last year, at 5 places. The Brighton Centre in UK on the 20th and 21st of September. Circus Maximus in Rome, Italy on the 27th, 28th, 29th of September, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of October of 2024. Royal Albert Hall in London, United Kingdom, on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 14th, and 15th of October of 24. The Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, United States, on the 25th of October, and then again at Madison Square Garden in New York, USA, on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 9th, and 10th of November of 2024. So 5 different locations. All the songs were written. I believe there's 21 tracks in total. Just let me check here. Yeah, there's I'm pretty sure there's 21 tracks in total. Yeah, there's 21 in total. Some of the sets, this particular set that they're showing here on the computer, is from the Circus Maximus concert in Italy. I believe that's where it was, Italy. Yeah, Circus Maximus in Rome, Italy, has a couple of tracks that do not appear on this particular album. So, we're going to go back to the personnel. So, on top of that, the tracks he chose weren't necessarily the tracks that you would have expected him to choose. There's some songs obviously missing. Run Like Hell isn't here, and neither is Money. But he did say in the interview that he only wanted to do tracks that he sung on, not tracks just for the sake of doing Pink Floyd. Which is unfortunate because I would have loved to see him do Echoes, but nobody does Echoes, right? That's unfortunate. So I will give you the tracks that he does. I'm going to break them down. But before we do that, we're going to talk about the people that performed on the album as well. And these are about 12 of them in total. I can actually see them without my glasses from here. So you got David Gilmour on guitars, lead vocal, except on Between 2 Points and The Great Gig in the Sky. the backing vocals on Between 2 Points. You've got Guy Pratt on bass, backing vocals, and co-lead vocals on Comfortably Numb. I guess he's essentially replacing Richard Wright. Greg Philligans, I believe it is, on keyboards, backing vocals, and co-lead on vocals on Time. Rob Gentry on keyboards and backing vocals. Ben Worsley on guitars, backing vocals, co-lead vocals on In Any Tongue. Adam Betts on the drums. Romani Gilmour on backing vocals, harp and lead vocals on Between 2 Points, co-lead vocals on The Great Gig in the Sky. And then you have the Webb sisters, Hattie Webb on backing vocals, harp, co-lead vocals on The Great Gig in the Sky, and Charlie Webb on backing vocals, guitar, ukulele, and co-lead vocals on The Great Gig in the Sky. And then Louise Marshall on backing vocals, co-lead vocals on, and piano on The Great Gig in the Sky. So he's got a fair bit of instrumentation going on here, and a fair bit of people playing on this album. There are, like I said, a total of 21 tracks. It's very good. The clarity on the album is very strong. I thought that the production was excellent. The sound quality was really good. I thought his voice sounded great. The guitar was forward and very frontal on almost all the tracks that it was dominant on. And he did choose a good selection of songs. A couple songs that were a little bit surprising. Fat Old Son, and there was one other one. I'm just looking for it here. I don't see it now. No, I guess that was the main song that came to mind. He did do quite a few off of his last solo album, and Brendan Snyder went over this, so if you want to see a full breakdown of all the songs, you can go and watch it on his channel. He did an excellent job on it. At least I found it excellent. But I found it kind of strange that he did Fat Old Son off of Atom Heart Mother, which is a song I always like, but they don't often do songs off of that album, so it was kind of surprising, but I enjoyed it. And that's part of the reason why I bought it, because I already have Live at the Nebworth and Pompeii, so you got two great concerts there with a lot of stuff you would expect to hear from Pink Floyd. But since this isn't a Pink Floyd album, I wasn't expecting it to be fully covered by Pink Floyd, and he did do quite a bit of his own stuff. And that's part of the reason why I bought it, because he's doing stuff that I don't normally get to hear if I'm just listening to those other live albums. Starts out with 5 a.m. Good, well done. Black Cat I thought was very good. Luck and Strange, which is the title track for the album, was good. I thought Speak to Me and Breathe, nice combination here. Now on this particular concert, he did do the Breathe reprise, but he didn't do that on this album. Instead, he did Spark. I believe it's a Spark. Just want to look it up here. I don't want to give you the wrong info. I need my glasses for this. Side 2, actually it was on side 1, coming right after Time. You can just find it. The problem with these books is they don't keep everything in the same spot. So yeah, so A Single Spark, he did that right after Marooned, I believe. Yes. So on this, he did Breathe reprise right after Time, but on the album, he actually goes right from Time into Fat Old Son, and then Marooned, which is from, I think it was from the Division Bell. Yep, I believe that's where it's from. And then he goes and does a single Spark, which he didn't do in this other concert. So, and then he goes into Wish You Were Here, which is very well done as well. Another classic David Gilmour. This one written by Gilmour and Roger Waters. I think there's a few tracks that Roger Waters wrote on here. Of course, on Time as well. But all four members writing on that one. Oh, actually, yeah, all four members on that one. And then the same with Breathe. David Gilmour, Richard Wright, and Roger Waters all writing on that. So he tried to basically stick with stuff that he had actually had some input in, which I think is good. If you're going to do your solo stuff, you want to stick to that. Between 2 Points, with his daughter doing the lead vocals on that, or co-lead vocals on that, was, I thought, well done as well. And High Hopes to end off that first album. Really well done. The second album, of course, I'm going to get to the back here on the thing. So there are an additional 9 tracks, 10, 11 tracks on the back half on this. And it's not as many on here. There's only 9 on the second CD for this particular setup here on the computer. However, there are 11 with this one. So you've got Sorrow, which is from Momentary Lapse of Reason, if I'm correct. I'm not ever quite sure which songs are on which of those 2 albums, Momentary Lapse of Reason and Division Bell, which ones have which, but I think Sorrow was off of that one. You got The Piper's Call, The Great Day for Freedom. These are all solo stuff by him. In the Tongue, Great Gig in the Sky, of course, from Dark Side of the Moon. Vocals were great on that. Yeah, I thought that was really well done as well. Boat Lies Waiting, Come Back to Life, and Dark and Velvet Nights, all pretty strong. Sings is good, and Scattered is also very good. And then he ends off with his encore, which is Comfortably Numb. I guess many consider this. I probably consider this to be his signature song too, written by him and Roger Waters, also on that track. It's just, to me, it's the best song on The Wall. The Wall's got about maybe 4 or 5 tracks on it that I quite like. The rest of the album I could probably live without. I never was a big fan of the album, but those Comfortably Numb was always one of my favorite tracks off of that album. And to me, it's when I think of David Gilmour, that's the song that comes to mind. Comfortably Numb. It's a nice way to end it. It's really clear. The production is fantastic. His vocals sound great. And I believe he's got somebody in, and they did say that here. Let me look here. Personnel again. Yeah, I think it was, who was it? It was the, I guess they don't. I guess he didn't. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah. Guy Pratt. That's who it was. Guy Pratt did the co-lead vocals along with David Gilmour, and I thought it went pretty well. I always loved it when, in this case, it would have been Roger Waters, but Guy Pratt, pretty strong bass vocals here as well. Yeah, so a nice ending to this album. This is one of 3 live, kind of mostly Pink Floyd stuff that I have that I quite like. And it's a nice ending, and of course it comes with this nice little book, picture of him on the front, all kinds of pictures in here, really well, very colorful pictures too. This is a nice booklet. It's not a cheap one. Highly laminated, nice shot of all the concert lights. You know, there's some more pictures. His daughter up in the corner above him there. She surprisingly to me looks so much like him too. And then you got some black and whites here, and all the information that you would possibly want on the album. It's all written here, so this is a well worth purchasing album if you are a Pink Floyd fan or if you're a David Gilmour fan and you like this kind of stuff, this is I think a must-have album. Even though I have quite a bit of Pink Floyd live, I still think this one is a little bit different because it has a few things on here that you don't normally get on a normal Pink Floyd album. So, well worth having as a part of the collection. So anyways, that's my take on David Gilmour's The Luck and the Strange concert. Hope that you enjoyed this. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about the album, in the comment section below, you're welcome to do so. If you wanted to say anything about Pink Floyd or David Gilmour in particular, that's fine. If you even want to harp about Roger Waters, I'm okay with that as well. Anyways, thanks for coming today and watching an episode of What's New featuring David Gilmour. I hope that you enjoyed this, and we will be back next Saturday night with another What's New episode. So take care, have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.